How you doing, everybody? Welcome back. Let's stand focused for Jesus. Hope each and every one of you are having a blessed day in the Lord Jesus Christ. As always, thank you for taking this walk with me. See me out here walking. I'm getting my daily walk in, getting my exercise in. Y'all know how it is. I want to talk a little bit about love. More specifically, falling in love. I wish I knew a lot of stuff growing up, but I really wish I knew this. And we are specifically talking about falling in love. Falling in love. The truth of the matter is, falling in love is for suckers and simps. Falling in love is for suckers, not suckers, suckers and simps. And how do I know? Because I done been down that road many times. And then you even think about it in your own life. When you, quote unquote, fell in love with somebody. How did that end for you? Oh, I fell in love. She the one. He the one. I'm in love. How did that end for you? Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, 10 for 10, it ended terribly. It ended terribly. That person was cheating on you or whatever else, abuse, or maybe it just didn't work out. It ended terribly because you should not be falling in love, because falling in love is for suckers and simps. I got played the game. I used to play the game, the relationship game. But we all get played. That's why it's called a game. You get played because it's a game. But once you realize how the game go, then you try to play the game. You try to play the other players of the game, trying to get over, trying to get what you want, trying to elevate yourself in the realm of the relationship game until you get played by somebody else that's a greater player than you. And a lot of times you end up playing yourself. Just being real, for real. So what I say that relationships where it ends up where a person falls in love is for suckers and simps. But we gotta look at what we're saying. Fall in love. Fall in love. Falling is a type of failure. The truck go by. Falling is a type of failure. Why we don't say fall in love? Why we don't say fall when it comes to something else? How many of you want to? I fall at my job. I fell into the job. No, you didn't fall into the job. You put the work and effort, or somebody hooked you up to get that job. You didn't go to that job and just, was enamored with it, like, oh my God. If I'm out here walking and I fall, that's not a good thing. If I'm doing business and the business goes under, that's not a good thing. If the business fails, if the business falls, that's not a good thing. It's not good to fall. If a runner is running and they're trying to win the race, if they fall, that's not a good thing. But we sit here and we say, I fell in love. And the fruit of falling in love is not being a good thing. It's just look at your past relationships where you fell in love and tell me how that ended. Now, there's always the exception, but I still believe that even when the person, quote unquote, falls in love and then they end up getting married or whatever, that relationship ain't really what it is from the beginning. Now I'm gonna explain why in a little bit. So falling in love ain't a good thing. When you fall in love, we're gonna speak it from the perspective of a man, but you can apply this to yourself. When you fall in love with a broad, you end up giving that broad a piece of your soul, a piece of your spirit. But she ain't. You see her as worthy as receiving that. But a lot of these broads, like I said, applied how it needs to be applied. A lot of these broads, they ain't worth that. They're not worth you. They're not worth you giving a piece of your soul, a piece of your spirit. A lot of times it be all of it. Then when the relationship fail, when she ain't acting right or whatever, then you be depressed, walking around here like boo-boo the fool, crying and all this other stuff, ready to kill yourself because you done literally gave your life over to the Jezebel. I don't think some of y'all hear me. You done literally gave your life over to the Jezebel. Because let's back up for a minute. Let's take it back. Christ came and he gave his love to all of us, right? His love is available to all of us. But Christ has the wisdom to do that. A lot of us, we ain't had no wisdom be talking about getting a relationship and giving nobody this and getting nobody that. You can't give what you ain't got. A lot of us, we didn't even have love. So how you gonna talk about getting a relationship, talking about you falling in love when you don't even know what love really is? So you already setting yourself up for failure. So when Christ did what he did, he could do that. He could do that. And then even then, just because he extends his love to everybody, don't mean that he's giving his love to everybody. It's available, but that don't mean everybody getting it. You know how I know? Because when you're baptized in the Holy Spirit, you receive the Holy Spirit, right? Many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. We got a mindset, every female that we call, every broad we call, she chosen. Every time we feeling good or whatever. Oh, this the one. You called her. Hello, what's up, girl? You didn't had a good time, you know what I'm saying? You probably didn't knock her off a few times, whatever. Everything going good. You know, call, then you choosing her. Don't work out, then you go do the same cycle over and over again. Christ said, many are called, but few are chosen. We are here choosing all of them. We are here choosing all of them because we missing something within inside of us. So we falling in love. When you fall in love, you fall in the trap. You might well be in a dope house. Because the Fed's going to jump down on you, going to jail. You going to spiritual jail. Because this woman or whoever it is, broad, she going to have your heart. She going to have your soul. She going to have your spirit locked up. She going to have it locked up. You going to be thinking that you the man. But all it's going to take is for her to do one little thing. One little thing, and hey, she going to have you head over heels, right? But the crazy thing is, it shouldn't be head over heels. It should be heel over head. Because that's how we be acting. That's how we be acting. We be acting heels over head. We acting stupid. Doing all type of stuff. Look at the stuff you did when you was quote unquote you just fell in love. Man, you doing all type of stupid stuff. Anything she want, anything he want. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much is worshiping, like I said, I'm speaking from the context of a man. You had worshiping this broad. She know it. I knew it at the time, because, I played the game. But a lot of people don't even know they're worshiping these people through these relationships. They got your heart in a glass jar sitting on they right next to their throne or whatever. They jump, you gonna jump. They tell you to jump for them, then you gonna jump for them. You trying to shower the woman with the gifts and everything when she ain't did nothing to deserve those gifts. Now those gifts are available to her, but she ain't shown that she is worthy. Christ himself even said that pray ye always that you are worthy to escape all these things that should come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man, Son of God. He said, pray that you are worthy. So not everybody is worthy to escape. So if everybody ain't worthy to escape, everybody, even though his grace, his love, his mercy is available to everybody, not everybody in the woods. Not everybody is worthy of his love. So why you out here making everybody worthy of your love when they ain't worthy? You out here giving them the same thing that you out here talking about you gonna give your wife. Are you treating her like a wife, but she ain't your wife? She a broad that you talking to. So you showering all these things on her, not realizing that she got your heart in a vice, right? And then you wonder why when you get in the relationship fails. When she says she tired of you, she don't want to do this no more, then, oh baby, what I do, this and that, because she already got somebody else lined up, most likely. Or maybe she's just playing games with you because she can play games with you. And you don't understand how the game go. So you get in your feelings and you get in your emotions, you get twisted and bent out of shape because you shouldn't have been falling in love in the first place. You fail. You fail. You fail. When you falling, hey, somebody got to help you get up a lot of times, depending on how hard you fall, right? But who is that person that's helping you to get up? Most of the time is that woman that's helping you to get up. Because she's the one that set the trap for you. You probably set the trap for yourself. The Bible tells us about that, right? You done fell into a trap. You done fell into a snare. So you ain't thinking right. When you falling, man, you ain't thinking right. You ain't using reasoning. You ain't using logic. You ain't using common sense. You ain't using judgment. So if that's the case, and then you already lacking love because you don't really know what love is. You got a form of love, but it ain't real love. Then you're out here making stupid decisions. Then, some people even take it so far where they end up killing the person, killing the broad, chopping his thing up, all type of other stuff, because they didn't fall in love. Because when you fall in love, you make stupid decisions because it puts you in the mindset of a simp and a sucker. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to suck on you. They're going to suck the life out of you. That's why people get so depressed when they're in relationships and the relationship don't work. The relationship don't work. And then they walking around here like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. Don't want to go to work, don't want to eat, don't want to do none of this, because a piece of you didn't die. They done took a piece of your life because they were trying to control your life. But see, they weren't telling y'all this when some of y'all don't know that. They weren't telling y'all this when y'all were growing up. Nobody wasn't telling me this. Nobody wasn't telling me this. I know, I done been through it already. I had an ex-fiance claim I was in love and fell in love. A few broads, over the years, this the one. This the one. And this the one right here, homies. Tell my boy, this the one, man. Gotta check her out. They ain't know no better either. We was ignorant. We just learned the game as we went along. This broad, same thing. I was playing the game. I was being manipulative too. Like I said, playing the game. But I'm out here doing crazy stuff. Got so mad one day. What I would do was, when she made me mad, I would go get in my car and I would drive off fast. Because I knew that was a way for me to get the power back. Because I knew that she was manipulating me. Because she never had nobody that treated her the way that I did. So she was taking advantage of it because she could. And I dealt with it. I dealt with it for my reasons that I dealt with it, right? But I would go drive fast because that's my way of getting the power back. Oh, you didn't manipulated me. Now I'm finna manipulate you. I'm finna go drive fast because I know it's gonna make her upset. That's gonna make her worry about me. It was a back and forth thing. It was an emotional roller coaster. And you know what happens on a roller coaster? You fall. You ain't thinking right. You're not thinking, rationally. You and talking about thinking you having fun. But you talking about relationship and stuff like that, it ain't about having fun, man. That ain't the basis of it. If you get in a relationship to have fun, then you get in a relationship for the wrong reasons. I thought relationship supposed to be about fun, Brother King. Nah, relationships are deeper than that. That's why I call it a relationship. You're doing business. The business is supposed to be the business of love. But in the age that we live in, it's become the business of lust. It's supposed to be the business of love, real love. But in the day and age that we live in now, it has become the business of lust. So, you know, it was literally an emotional roller coaster. Chick made me so mad sometimes. One time I ripped my shirt off, like I was an incredible Hulk. And running down the street, madness from what? From falling in love. This is a woman that I was engaged to, I think like 3 times, at least 2. But I think it was 3 if my memory called me correctly. 3 times we was engaged. Didn't happen. But I'm thinking, yeah, this chick right here, because I was all the type, I ain't getting married, man. Ain't no reason to get married. I get the same thing, you know what I'm saying, that I get being married. Is a waste of time. That's what I'm thinking. Because I was getting the same benefits that I would get if I was married. So I'm like, well, what's the purpose? Because I didn't have an understanding. I lack wisdom. But yet here I am still falling in love. Then fell in love, fell into the trap house. You know what I'm saying? Got me them boys, got me hemmed up. She got me hemmed up. So when the relationship fell apart, I fell apart because I had completely given myself over to this female, talking about, you know what I'm saying, getting married and stuff like that, when neither I or her were in the right mindset. We were both crazy. We were both lunatics. Both of us was lunatics because the stuff we were doing was lunatic. It was of a lunatic person. The stuff we were doing, it just didn't make no sense. But to us, it made sense. But in the reality, in the whole spectrum of everything, it didn't make no sense. It's literally crazy behavior, and this is what most people don't understand. You get into a relationship and you're wondering why this behavior is going on because both y'all crazy. You're 2 crazy people trying to be sound. You're already crazy and you're bringing craziness into another situation of craziness, which is going to lead to what? Chaos. No matter how good it looks, it's chaos. Pure and utter chaos. So when the relationship failed, I fell apart for the first time. For the first time, I was depressed, like literally depressed. I went through depression. I ain't never been a depressed person. I've always been that person that people would come to and they would tell me about the problems and we're gonna solve them. Oh, that ain't nothing, we're gonna get over this. But then it happened to me while I'm depressed. And that's what ultimately led me to salvation. God had to break me down that way. I understand now that I had to go through that stuff because Christ told me, he said, hey, I still remember this to this day. If you went through all that for that female that you thought you loved, I did have a love for her, but I didn't have a godly love. If you went through all that for that female, then what about me? How much more have I went through for you? How much more have I given for you? And you know, that really spoke to me. Excuse me, I really understood, you know, why I went through the things that I went through, because if I don't go through that situation, my pride isn't broken down where the strong man is depressed over a female, then, you know, you don't have who you have today. So I had to go through that because I was I was that guy. I was that guy that had no problem getting no girls and stuff like that. That was me. You know, rather I had the whip, rather I had the rim, the clothes, whatever. We say today, my swag, my personality got the girls how I carried myself. You know? So you talking about you falling in love, man. Falling in love gonna get you hemmed up, gonna get you jammed up into a whole bunch of situations that you don't wanna you think you wanna be in, but you don't really wanna be in them. That's what's gonna end up happening. So you may say, well, Brother Ken, you married now, so you fell in love. You just fell in love with the right one. No, I didn't fall in love with my wife. We didn't fall in nothing. I brought the love of God into our marriage, and she brought the love of God into our marriage. And then we combine those powers. We combine that love. And now we stand. I was already standing. She was already standing. Christ said stand. He didn't say fall. He didn't say keep on falling. He said stand. The Bible even tells us that when we fall, we get back up. The righteous man gets back up. He don't sit there and continue wallowing in his misery, wallowing in the mire and all these other things. We get back up. Sometimes, yeah, we trip, whatever, because we're moving too fast. You know what I'm saying, thinking too fast or whatever. But we don't sit there and continue falling. We get back up, even when we do fall, until we get to our destination. Because once you get to your destination, then you good. What you tripping for? You fall when you're going to a place. You're going to point A to point B. And then because you're going through this terrain, you're going over the mountains, you're going through these treacherous situations, then you're going to fall. But once you reach your destination, what you falling for? If I'm at my house, chilling in my house, I'm sitting on my porch sipping some lemonade. You know what I'm saying? I may have a little shot, you know what I'm saying, a little fifth in there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The Bible said drink a little wine for your infirmities. Hey, Brother Ken, you be drinking, brother? Man, I drink a little wine every now and then. A little grape juice. Come on, man. I'm just keeping it real. Y'all, I ain't finna get on that. If it offends you, I apologize. But, if I'm sitting on my porch, sipping on a little lemonade, whatever, or a shot of liquor or whatever like that, like I'm getting drunk, or if I'm just drinking regular lemonade, that's my business. I ain't tripping over my own porch. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting down, I'm standing, I'm relaxing, I'm resting, because I've reached my destination. So in the process of us getting where we're going, we trip and we fall and everything, and then by the grace of God, He picks us up. We don't stay in a trap. We don't stay in the trap of falling in love. I didn't fall in love with my wife. I brought love to her and said, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I want. What's up? What you want to do? And she's like, yeah, I'm about that life too. And then I had to make a decision. So y'all, some of y'all, you like the game. I used to like the game too, but all that other stuff, get to know a person and this and that, that's all part of the game. And so come to that person and say, hey, look, this is what I'm about, right? This is what I got going on. I'm a believer, blase, whoop-de-doo, laying it out there and then saying, hey, you worship Christ, I worship Christ, what you want to do? What you want to do? Instead of being upfront with people, you want to play the game. When you're upfront with a person, then it not only exposes you, but it exposes them. When you are upfront with a person, it not only exposes you, but it exposes them, because you get to see their motives. And you get to see if they legit or not. You're like, I ain't finna waste my time. This is a waste of my time. But when you start to playing the game and everything and doing that, then because you don't even know how to play the game right, you end up losing. You end up losing your life. People have lost their lives over relationships. I ain't just talking about people that are victims of domestic abuse, but people have been so scarred that they are afraid to get into a relationship with somebody, a healthy, a wholesome relationship. Rather, it's with the opposite sex, or rather, it's just a friendly relationship. They get in the relationships, and they end up destroying that person. They end up using that person. They end up using that person unrighteously, because we all use each other. Let's not get it twisted. When you're coming to this ministry, you're using me. You're using me for the knowledge and wisdom that I do have that maybe you're not able to research or whatever. We all use each other. But it's a matter of if you're using a person righteously or unrighteously. My wife uses me. She uses my body. She enjoys my body. I allow her to. I enjoy her body. We're using each other. So, so let's make sure we get that corrected and stop going with the status quo of what people tell us, that it's not okay to use people. We all use people. I mean, we even think about it. We use God. God is using to do his will. He don't have to, but he chooses to. So, we get in these relationships, and then because we have become so toxic, we end up using people in the wrong way instead of using them in the righteous way to the benefit of each other. And that's because you can't give what you ain't got. A lot of people, they don't understand how relationships work. So they only give what they have, and what they have is a toxic behavior. They have a toxic spirit because somebody else didn't destroy them. Somebody else didn't took them down. So they're like, hey, I'm gonna do this to somebody else. I'm gonna continue doing this or whatever. So then they see that there's power in that, and then they continue to do the same thing. They end up harnessing, they end up harvesting the lifeline, the spirit, the soul of that person. They literally become a type of spiritual vampire. And then we know blood touches blood, and inequity and sin breaks out, so it continues to spread or whatnot. You can't give what you ain't got. If you ain't got the love of God, then you're gonna keep on falling in love. You're not gonna stand in love. You're not gonna stand in love. You shouldn't be falling in love. You should be standing in love. I don't fall in love. I stand in love. I didn't fall into Christ. I fell at Christ. And then he told me to stand. So once I stood, then the old was removed. Once I got to the point of falling because of my actions and my sins and everything, I fell because the fake love that I had. Once I fell at the feet of Christ, then he removed that false understanding of love, and he gave me the true understanding of love, gave me a new heart, and then he told me to rise up and stand. So then I was able to stand in love. Before that, I couldn't stand in love because I didn't have the power to stand in love. So putting y'all up on game, the real game, so you can stop being deceived, stop getting into these relationships that ain't no good for you. And you wonder why you keep on going through the same nightmare over and over again in the relationships. Ain't that what they say? They say, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Ain't that what they say? So why you keep on falling in love and you keep on getting the same results? You get mad because you're getting the same results or whatever. You're a lunatic. What they say the first step is admitting. You got to admit, man, it ain't working. Falling in love ain't working because you ain't supposed to be falling in love. You ain't supposed to be talking about you in love. You're going to be in love. You're going to be in love of Christ. You in love of Christ, and in that love you stand. And because you stand and somebody else is standing, then you connect with that. You connect with that person. Then y'all are establishing. Y'all brought something forth that much more stronger. If both y'all falling in love, and both y'all falling into a pit, into a trap. Now how you gonna get out? How you gonna get out? If both y'all falling in love, both y'all didn't fall in love, how you gonna get out? Who gonna get who out? Well, we're gonna get each other out. We're gonna get each other out. Then you get out, and then they get you out and they leave you in there, and now they hold you hostage. you the hostage in the relationship. Not realizing that trap was a setup in the first place. It was a setup in the first place. So now you deep in the dungeon. You in the relationship dungeon, and you being manipulated and all this other stuff. They feeding you when they want to feed you. They sucking the life out of you when they want to suck the life out of you. Don't tell me it ain't true, because just look at your life as a whole and the past relationship that you were in, and the people were sucking the life out of you. And then when you got out that relationship, when you escaped, a piece of you died. Then you got into another relationship and a piece of you died. And you continue the cycle over and over again until either you were completely broken and you just like, what the hell with it, or you came to the saving grace of God, saving grace of Christ through the gospel. And then, the rest is history. But I just want to drop that on y'all. Drop this in your spirit. Hopefully, it helps somebody out. But with that being said, God bless each and every one of you. In Jesus Christ's name, as always, stay focused for Jesus. And as you know, the truth is not debated, it is declared.